You've done a great job throughout this series. The final video for this section will automate the nested lessons we reviewed. This lesson will cover the if statement coupled with the and or functions, the if statement coupled with the date value, and the if statement coupled with the today statement. Please open the logical workbook and go to the Nested Auto tab to follow along in the lesson. The formulas on your screen represents the formulas we'll be using in the Logical Automated tool and have also been used in previous lessons. Let's go ahead and take a look at each formula. Formula number 1 represents the if feature covered with and it indicates that both values must be true to return a complete statement. So it says if B7 is greater than 150 and C7 is less than 60, then this formula will return complete. Otherwise, it will return false. The second formula represents the or statement coupled with if. And it says if B7 is greater than 150 or C7 is less than 60, then it will return complete. Otherwise, if neither obligation is met, then it will return false. The third statement represents the today function coupled with if, and it says if B15 is greater than today's date, then it will return complete. Otherwise, it will return false. And finally, the fourth formula represents a date value that we will indicate, and it says if C2 is greater than the date value, and the date value being June 1st, 2020, then it will return complete. Otherwise, it will return false. So having reviewed our formulas, let's go ahead and plug them into the Logical Automated tool. Okay, so before we begin, I would like to show you where to locate your tools. Let's go to the Formula tab. Let's go to the Function Library. And let's get the drop down for the logical feature. We'll be working with the if statement today. Let's go ahead and open it and take a look. This tool gives you the option to plug your formula into the logical test. You will enter your first return value into the true field and the second return value into the false field. I have separated your formula into a color code. So the red will be your formula, the blue will be your true, and the green will be your false. So let's go ahead and do our first example. Let's place our mouse inside of cell D7. Let's go up to the Formula tab and get our logical drop down. Let's select if, and let's go ahead and say and. Let's do an opening parenthesis. Let's select cell B7 and say greater than 150. Let's add a comma. Let's say cell C7 and say less than 60. And then we'll go ahead and close it out with a parenthesis. Let's go to the true field and type complete. Let's go to the false field and type false. Now if our formula is entered correctly, we should get a complete. Let's go ahead and say OK. OK, and it returned the correct value. Let's begin by placing our mouse inside of cell D9. Let's get our logical drop down and say if. Let's go ahead and type or and an opening parenthesis. Select cell B9, type greater than 150. Let's go ahead and add a comma. Let's select cell C9 and say less than 60. And let's go ahead and close it out with a parenthesis. Now in the true field, I would like you to type complete, and in the false field, let's go ahead and type false. All right, let's go ahead and say OK. All right, we got another complete. And as you can see, we use the same formula for and or. We just simply swap and for or. Okay, so we'll repeat these steps with the today feature and the date value feature. So again, we're going to be using the if feature. We'll plug the red formula into the logical test and use the true and false value to add our return statements. So let's begin by placing our mouse inside of cell D15. Let's go up to the logical drop down and say if. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and select cell B15 and we'll use the greater than symbol. We'll type the word today. We'll do an open and closing parenthesis as our example indicates. In the true item, we'll add upcoming. And in the false item, we'll add past. Let's go ahead and say OK. And as you can see, this is an upcoming date. Let's go ahead and autofill the remaining cells. Let's hover over our black cell and drag it all the way down. Okay, so as you can see, April 5th is a past date. May 21st, 2021 is upcoming, as well as June 1st, 2021. Okay, so let's repeat these steps on our final example, then we'll go ahead and wrap up this lesson. Let's place our mouse inside of cell D22. Let's get our logical drop down and say if. Let's go ahead and select cell B22. Let's say greater than. Let's type date value. Just as we see it in our example, we'll go ahead and add a date value enclosed with parentheses and quotation marks. I'm going to use the same information that I have in the example. I'll say June 1st, 2020. Then I'll go ahead and close it out. Okay, so in my true statement, I'll type upcoming. And in my false statement, I'll type past. Let's go ahead and say OK. Let's go ahead and autofill our examples. Let's go ahead and select cell D22. Let's get in our black cross mode. And let's go ahead and drag it down to cell D25. Let's review our results. April 5th is a past date, so it returns past. May 21st and June 1st are both upcoming dates, so it is marked by upcoming. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap out this lesson. I hope you found this series informational, and I will see you in future videos. So that wraps up this lesson from Microsoft Excel. I hope that you are getting the most out of these level up lessons. Please do let us know if you have questions or concerns. Take a break if you need to, and we will see you in the next video.